Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Explorer Time series. Episode 10, guys! We've come so far in such a short amount of time. So, towards the end of the last episode, you saw me put together the auto crafting for Applied Energistics 2, and then you saw me craft up a whole bunch of vats. And you might have been thinking to yourself, why are you putting together so many vats? And the answer is pretty simple, guys. I want to do something slightly crazy. So you can see here, I've got several of them laid out with pipes running in between them. Then I've got, mostly for aesthetics, I've got snow laid here, and then underneath all this snow and everything, there's water that's running across the whole bottom of this compact machine. And then I've got liquid transfer nodes with a world interaction upgrade and some speed upgrades to keep them all supplied with water. So if we look inside there, we can see it's got the water tank that's completely full on all of them. And this layer here is going to be making the hooch. That's what its intended purpose is. It is going to be making hooch. Above this, I'm going to place tanks. Probably the tanks from Open Blocks, because they're quite nice and they look sort of dynamic. But anyways, I'm going to place a whole layer of tanks above all this that stores hooch. Above that, another layer of pipes that's transporting the hooch up into more vats, which are going to then be making the rocket fuel, and then above that, another layer of the tanks, and then above that, a layer of combustion engines, and then above that, a layer of the capacitor banks. And this is going to be the power for my base, and for this series most likely. I don't know if I'll be getting into any of the other power sources once that's done, because that will be producing quite enough power for me, I feel. But yeah, so, something crazy, guys, something big and fantastic just because. And then we're going to be packing some ice in some places just to, for aesthetics mostly, thinking that we're keeping all of the machinery cool, you know. I think it'll look fantastic once we're done. And here we go, you can see them all toiling away. So in the corners, I've got ender chests. These ones are color-coded for sugarcane. I thought green, white, green kind of made sense for that. And then over here, these are coded for potatoes. I figured the color scheme will seem fairly obvious. Then we've got all the vats all ticking away, building up our reserves of hooch. Got the one tesseract here on the side with an energy transfer node, pumping it all out into it. So it's powering all of these networks from that one node, which might seem a little bit slow, but honestly it really doesn't take that much. 16 speed upgrades is totally fast enough to get around to all of the nodes with plenty of time, or all the vats, I'm sorry, with plenty of time to be able to get them power, because the hooch doesn't take very long to tick over, honestly. So then the next step is to have the tanks, and I'm kind of hoping that they'll automatically output to it. Nope, doesn't look like I can be so lucky. Terribly unfortunate, because that means I have to go into each one of these vats and configure it manually, which is kind of annoying. Oh well, I won't make you sit there and watch me do that, but yeah, so this is stage one of our really massive power source coming together. Check it out. So we've got now the whole row of tanks in, and it's completely full of hooch. It looks kind of milky, which is weird, but yeah, that's what it looks like. All the way around, all through the center too. And then we laid the second layer of tanks, and I've got them all pre-programmed, but I haven't put in the chests or anything like that to transport the redstone and the gunpowder over. But I have already got them configured so that they're drawing in from the bottom and pushing out through the top, because I'm going to add another layer of tanks up here above for the rocket fuel once I've got it processing. I've also already run all the wires, it just lacks me putting in the ender chests that actually transport the items over. I'm also kind of concerned about the energy node, but I'm thinking it won't be that big of an issue eventually. Right now, it's keeping up, but it's powering 202 connections. I didn't really think about that when I was doing just the one node with only 16 upgrades. But you know, for now, it's keeping up just fine. And eventually, this system is going to power itself, so I'm not sure how much I should worry about it right now. Probably not going to worry about it at all. I did tick over this pipe. I hit it with the wrench a couple of times so that it's not pushing items up through either way. I'm not 100% sure it would anyways, but I'd rather just not take the chance. So that way no items will be going in here and fouling up the hooch making. No items will be going up here and fouling up the rocket fuel making. But they're all full of hooch, and they're all ready to go. Here we go. So you can see with the other layer of vats laid in and the two materials coming in through the ender chests, I've got black, red, black for the gunpowder. Very fitting, I felt. And then over here I've got red, black, red for the red fuel. So it's being pumped into the vats, and they are all making the rocket fuel, which is being output into this tank, which is all full. I laid in the combustion generators. Now, I went a little bit different than that. If I come down here, you can see that I've got the vats just kind of laid out in a row, like with intermixed with the transfer pipes. But I did it the other direction and a little bit more of them because I'm wanting to pull as much power out of the system as I can. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure that for every one vat, it can support 3 of these. So I'm pretty sure that I've got enough going here. There's going to be enough overlap between the 3 layers that I don't foresee me running out of any of these materials anytime soon. The combustion generators have already filled up with both the water that I'm pumping in from below and the rocket fuel that's coming in through the tanks right underneath them. So that's this layer done as well. The only thing that I have left to do before I really kick this energy source off is to lay in the capacitor banks. Now, it's even more crazy then too, because I'm doing a full layer of the resonant capacitor banks. The vibrant capacitor banks. So that way it's got 25 million power storage per, and I want to lay a whole layer across the top just like I did with the tanks. So that's going to be just a tremendous amount of energy storage that's laid on top of this thing. And then I'm just going to put Tesseracts on the top of it to transport around to all the different layers. I'm in the process right now, if I was to jump out of here, I'm in the process of putting together all of the materials necessary for the vibrant capacitor banks. It's quite a bit, actually. I mean, it doesn't seem that impressive when it's only one of them, but when you're trying to make 81 of them, it really matters. So I've got this ticking over to make the vibrant alloy for now, or energetic alloy, and then I'm going to turn it into the vibrant alloy using the ender pearls. I'll need some of this, of course, to make the different layers of capacitors, so that way I can put them together into the higher tiers. So I'm having to make quite a bit of it. If I look up here, you can see I've still got a whole bunch of this stuff to tick over. And then I've got a whole mess of ender pearls that I'm going to throw in there with some of this as soon as that gets done. One of the things that I'm going to work on is just making a whole row of these. This is taking far too long. It makes me kind of wish that I had Mechanism in. Not that Mechanism could make these alloys, but so that way it would make all of the processing of the materials easier to the degree that I want it to be processed. I've got a whole mess of iron that I put in here that's been processed and sent through the ender chests. So yeah, I've got a little bit, it looks like, of liquid iron left over in all the different areas. I did improve this. I made it, you know, also pretty huge. I don't know if I showed that off before. But yeah, so I put a whole bunch more casting basins in, but that does run into this problem in that there is totally going to be some liquid iron that's left over. But that's okay, we've got a solution for that too. If I was to come over here into the backpack, I can pull out this retrieval node for liquids that I got. So I just put that on here and then take those out, put them on here, and then, you know, it'll draw all of the liquid out from all of those different casting basins and put them into that thing, so that way it can just make a whole bunch of iron ingots. And then you can see that it's all clear. So yeah, it does require, it's not fully manual, I guess. It does require a little bit of work on my end, but not so much that I'm really bothered with it. Anyways, I gotta let this tick over and finish making all of that energetic alloy so that I can make it into the higher tiers, and then I'll be back to show it off. And so here is the system fully put together. You can see I've got the vibrant capacitor banks all laid out across the top, and they are all fully charged. They are outputting into this Tesseract, which is the same Tesseract network that I had running before, but it's going to all the different places. It is having no trouble keeping up, or it wasn't. I mean, now that it's all full, it kind of barely seems to matter. But yeah, it wasn't having any trouble keeping up before. All the vats were pumping out enough rocket fuel to be able to keep all this going, so it was as I predicted. The full measure of this, it's 9 for each row, and I have 6 rows. So all told, it's putting out just about 10,000 RF a tick, which is, quite a big number, actually. Minus all of the expenses for running my base. I mean, it was sitting at about, it said that it was outputting about 9,000. But since I figured that I've got, a few things running off the network anyways, because I had it running, like I had this on the whole time that this was charging up, I figured that would even out to about 10,000. So pretty good power network, can do a lot of stuff with 10,000 RF a tick. So yeah, now it's time to just start loading up on systems or doing other things because power is no longer a concern.
Alright, so it's been a long time since the last time I recorded a video. I finally got the new computer in, and I don't know if you can tell as I'm running around and looking, but it is having absolutely no problems at all playing at a full 60 frames per second. So you'll see a noticeable increase in the quality of the videos. I mean, I'm actually floating somewhere between like 100 and something and 200 and something on the computer, but yeah, so no problems there, no problems whatsoever. Made a few changes, modified the system just a little bit because I had to put in a new deep storage unit. Now I did have an export bus shooting witch hands into this thing because they were starting to really eat up the system storage space. So I did have to make them their own deep storage unit, but now they're on the pathway and they've got 2 connections, so should absolutely be going in there, no trouble whatsoever from the chest. Shouldn't be going into the network anymore. Witch's hands, man, I didn't think about that because this is the first time I've really made a witch farm that had the drops matter for it. So, but yeah, tons of witch hands. So, and then let's see. At the end of the last recording, we had finished off the other power system. So one of the first things that I did was I got everything switched over to where it is now using the power system from the vats. So you can see in here, I've got a tesseract pumping energy onto here. Now it does have the 2 Stirling generators. I guess I need to actually set it. It does have the 2 Stirling generators still here, because I figure extra power or whatever, it doesn't matter. And then over here, of course, all this is powered the same way. If I go down below here, you can see I took out the 2 magmatic dynamos. So I've just got the tesseract pumping energy into the sludge boiler, and then all of the various harvesters and planters that are situated over here. Of course, all of this is still running its own little system. Not that it terribly matters because it's not being used for anything except for this little closed system. This is the only thing that would be running off of this energy. For some reason, this isn't taking any in. Oh well, not important. Not important at all. And I did the same thing inside with all of the machines that were in here. So that one I already had running off the old VAT system, so it's there. I think I had this one running off the VAT system too, but I honestly can't remember. But yeah, it is now pumping all of the power around the base. So everything is being powered off that. And it's being powered off that, no trouble whatsoever. Up to and including, if we hop through the portal here, you can see I brought the ME controller online. So now this is being powered, and it's been days that this has been holding power, and it's not struggling at all. So we've definitely got ourselves properly set up to where we can now get into all of the stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the episode. Most notably, really expanding our applied energistics network. So that way we can get kind of crazy with it. I've already built 4 more molecular assemblers, and I'm just going to be doing tons and tons and tons more of those because I do want to have basically one of these walls filled with one of them, I think. Just so we have anything and everything we would need to be crafting, we could be crafting. And there's going to be a couple more rooms. Like this one is mainly for storage and the auto crafting. That's really all this one is going to be dedicated to. I'm going to make a couple more of the compact machines that have different functions. Like one of them is going to be a factory room. It's going to have all of the machines that process stuff. I'm going to move all of the farm stuff inside one of the compact machines. Not the farm itself, but the machines to process all the stuff from it. I'm going to totally put in one of these, as well as having like I don't know, maybe a couple rows of the Ender IO machines so I can have all the different things produced as fast as possible when I need to use it. But yeah, that's the plan. So that's what I'm going to be working towards next is just probably moving the ME stuff in here rather than having it out in the overworld at all. And then setting up the auto crafters with a few more of the interfaces around them so that way I can just go nuts with it. Alright, so I went ahead and moved everything over. You can see up here I've got the crafting component that I had before, as well as ME drives there. Really hinky wiring here that eventually I'll get better about. But yeah, all that going down into the molecular assemblers that I have so far, with interfaces on each of the sides, and out to the side I have the pattern terminal so I can make the patterns, and then I also have the interface terminal so that I can look at all of the different interfaces that I've got going there. So the only thing that I've added that I didn't have before is this over here. So that will be our crafting project. So I'm going to go ahead and just kick that off. Just tell it to craft 1. There we go. You can see I've got all the materials in there. Set the CPU to automatic and let it fly. And then we'll look at this. Now, of course, I do have all of the crafting terminals, or the molecular assemblers, to where they're all sped up. Every single one of them has 5 acceleration cards. So you can see that that got done real fast. So let's fly up here and put it in the drive. Boom. Got 2 64Ks to kick off this new sending into the new world. So, that being said, we're going to have to go ahead and end the episode there. I just don't have enough time left in this episode to do anything too marvelous without going way over. And honestly, I'm kind of out of time for recording. If I don't put this video together tonight, then it won't be out tomorrow. So we would just have to go a week with no video, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. It's going to be really fun for me going forward because I'm not going to have any more of those weird odd lag spikes or anything like that. So going forward, it'll be fantastic on the aesthetic side because it'll also look better for you guys in addition to playing better for me. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like on it. It'll definitely help me feel like keeping going is a good thing to have. If you want to see more of what's coming, then please subscribe to the channel, because there are going to be more things coming onto the channel now that I've got the better computer. I'm probably going to drop right back into Morrowind, get some of that recorded and done, and then maybe I'll do a few bonus videos of other things, because there's way more stuff that I can play now, so there's way more stuff that's going to get recorded and put on the channel. But I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll just do like a bonus video style thing where just 30 minutes of whatever I happen to be playing at the time that I decide to record. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.